I also want to be associated with the congratulations to Ivana Bacik. I actually had marked her to be the winner from very early on. It was definitely a woman's seat to win this time round. This week will be a standout week in national politics, and we in this House have a very important role. Last night I received an email from independent councillor Gillian Toole in Rathoath. Gillian is also a pharmacist. Permit me to read from that. I find today to be a bittersweet day, the centenary of the signing of the truce which ended the War of Independence, and the eve of the day which you will vote upon emergency legislation to facilitate the introduction of vaccine testing passports for non-essential services such as indoor dining and attending public houses and thereafter music, arts and entertainment. You cannot create a two-tier society based on a person's private medical information. I am extremely concerned at the lack of consideration by the Government of several issues, including the scientific case, ethical and discrimination issues, data privacy and security. The introduction of such a system conflicts with several key fundamental rights enshrined in Bognacht na HÉireann. The introduction of a vaccine testing status certificates will not serve any of our citizens well. Based on my personal experience as a community pharmacist, I have urged you to ensure that front-line health services were improved and ICU bed numbers increased on a permanent basis, coupled with certified antigen testing. None of this is happening. Why? What have you done to request this action, much of which is foundation of the Sláinte Care model of Irish healthcare? It is too easy to proceed with divisive action planned for this coming week when you could and should build back a better health service. Suffice to say, given the incessant focus on vaccination and disregards of antigen testing and the General Register Office 5-year debt rate, one would think that the share price of vaccine manufacturers is the only goal. We now have to live with this virus and any other on the horizon. We have to provide a health service for all our citizens, and we must do this in an inclusive environment, not in a discriminatory one. I trust you will make the right and truthful choice in the government coming days. So I want to thank Councillor Gillian for that contribution this morning, and we do really have important choices to make this in the interest of all our citizens. Thank you.
Sharon Keogan raised some of the concerns that have been shared with her. The difficulty, I think, is that nobody would, I suppose, willingly try and do something that's going to discriminate against some of the people that we have in Ireland who are not yet vaccinated. But in the absence of any other choices or options, I'm not sure what else we would do other than keep an entire hospitality and tourism sector closed down, which I don't think is palatable to any of us. So whilst there are bits of the legislation that will be published this afternoon that people are going to find very, very difficult, and I'm sure we'll all express our concerns around them, I haven't heard any other suggestions from any party or independents as to what we would do differently other than just open everything up and have a free-for-all, and I don't think that's something that Irish society is ready for, number one. But also I think it wouldn't be wise, number two. But I am mindful of the fact that I haven't seen the legislation yet. There is a very large section of the legislation that's going to talk about the future use of antigen in Ireland in this particular section. And